All right, let's go. Ready? This is starting. Welcome to the first ever episode of Activated Podcast. I'm so excited for these. Are you?
Yeah, let's just see how we go.
Shall we go? This is my wife, Amy, and
Who are you?
I'm Luke.
Oh dear. We've decided we're going to collaborate and build a business together. We're sat on one chair and we have one microphone because I currently do a podcast on my own. So we're going to see how this feels before we get another mic and another chair, just in case we say, it's a no from me, hun.
Fair enough. So you're kicking me out already, first shift.
In January, I hosted an event called Activated through my own business to help women through their mindset if they've had trauma or limiting beliefs holding them back in life. At the event, Luke was there as my number one fan. He actually impromptu come up on the stage, unplanned. So many women were coming up to you on the day, chatting to him. Luke's also done a few calls in my group program that I had for business owners. Everybody just kept saying how much they love our vibe together, what we stand for. After Activate, it just become clear that we should join together.
Yeah, 100%.
Which is funny because when we first met, we always knew we'd have a business together, but we just didn't know what it would be.
You didn't expect it to be this.
The first episode, I guess we're just going to give you a little background of how we met.
I just want to say I'm really proud of us because it's been a crazy 12 years, isn't it?
It's been a roller coaster ride, hun.
From where we've been started off. My background became a personal trainer in 2012. I'd been working in gyms before that for years. I was a manager of a well-known gym in Southampton. That led me to train with people that were trained at elite levels, bodybuilders and powerlifters. Before Instagram bodybuilders blew up, it was the old school mentality. I decided I was going to take a completely different venture after competing in bodybuilding and dabbling in a bit of powerlifting when I was early 20s. I decided I was going to go work on a cruise ship just to really mix things up. I applied to work on a cruise ship and I actually failed my first interview, which not a lot of people know, to be honest. They said, we like what you're about, but you're just not confident enough and you're just not good enough at public speaking. I was really nervous about it, so I thought, fuck you. Second time, I went for it. I'm just going to be myself and whatever happens, happens. Smashed that one, and then they told me I was going to start in July. I was buzzing. And I sold my car, quit my job, and basically told everyone I was going to work on a cruise ship, but I didn't actually realise you had to pass the Steiner Academy training as well. That was a shock to me. I realised I've sold everything.
He thinks he's just going straight on that ship.
Yeah, I didn't realise I'd had to do this as well. So it was 3 weeks of intensive training where you can fail, and people did fail. They call it a 6-star personal trainer. Any question you got wrong or anything that you didn't do which was up to their standard, you had to do 10 clap push-ups as a punishment. But not just you, every single person in the whole class had to do it. It was basically what I'd imagine training in the army would have been like, but just as a personal trainer. 70-hour weeks of training.
And all the punishments.
And all the punishment we had to do.
The prison-like food.
Yeah, and the prison-like food. Also staying in a dodgy YMCA in Watford.
Hostel, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a hostel. I'd look ragged. I was washing my clothes in the sink. Because they only gave us 2 uniforms and you had to wear them, finish your day at 10, 11 o'clock at night and then wash your clothes, ready to start again for 6 o'clock the next morning. I just looked complete shambles, to be honest. On Monday morning and the new beauty starters were coming in. We was waiting for their class basically to finish. So we was just all queuing up, waiting for these girls to come out. And I was ragged, to be fair. I wasn't even thinking about much. I caught eyes with this one girl. I'm not sure she even noticed me, to be fair. And I thought, she's fit. And I thought, that's livened me up a little bit because I was a bit down. Turns out it was Amy.
It's me! I can confirm I didn't actually see you. That was my first day. I hadn't even finished college yet. I hadn't even got all my qualifications. I went and done the interview. I smashed mine. Sorry about that. To rub salt in the wound. I smashed mine. They said, as long as you get your qualifications from college, you are in. They sent me through a start date for October and I said, no, that ain't gonna do. I need to go now because for me, I was in a really toxic space in my life and I was using the ships as a runaway because I didn't even want to go on cruise ships. Like when it first came about, my mum was like, oh, you could do this. I said, absolutely not. You're not seeing Titanic, darling. I ain't doing that. That's not for me. Like I wouldn't even go on holiday on a cruise with my parents. Something in me clicked because what I was going through and I just thought, I need to fucking run away. Like, I just need to get away. I need it to come forward. They sent me through a start day, early August. My first day, I got there. We sat in this boardroom. We did like an onboarding thing. And then as we're all coming out, I just remember seeing this long line of like lean, muscly lads. And I remember thinking, oh, I'm overwhelmed. And I just kind of was like, just get out of here. This is really embarrassing. Like, we're there with our Steiner buns on our head, slick back. You had to wear like quite heavy makeup. So you'd have to have like thick blush. I remember just feeling really uncomfortable. It was like these white tunics, but they were see-through. So I have a tattoo on my thigh and you could literally see my tattoo and my tattoo on my ribs. Like, they were so see-through and I felt so embarrassed. I was like, all these lads are here and they're all like, you know, lads. And we didn't know this till years into our relationship. I didn't actually see you. It wasn't until I think that night when we was having our dinner in the hostel and I walked past with a girl that I'd made friends with. Luke was sat there and I remember just saying, oh, he's fit. But I said, he looks so miserable and like right up his own arse. How wrong could I have been?
Turns out I was ragged.
He was just ragged and I was about to be the same after a week there. That night, I don't know, I can't remember if it was that night we started like maybe talking a little bit. So that was the Monday. And then Thursday, Luke got his ship and he was gone.
Yeah.
So we felt like we knew each other for weeks.
That was something that was bizarre to me that we never really spoke about until like we got together and further down the line, was that we'd only actually met for 3 days. I was very fortunate because I got my ship details way quicker than anyone else.
Yeah, he got his so quick. You got yours like, I think you actually got yours on I can't remember what day, but there was a
it was
set,
early, wasn't it?
Had a set day for your, like, it was, what do you call it? They had
Like
a set
ship details, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was the same day every week.
Yeah, Thursday,
and then if you get called in, it's like really exciting.
Yeah.
And I think you would message me on Facebook Messenger being like, oh, I didn't get called in today. I'm like, yes, I get another week with him. And then later on that night he said, oh no, actually they called me back in and I'm going tomorrow morning. And I was like, sorry. And I just remember my little heart broke into pieces. Then we shared a little kiss that night, didn't we?
When I asked you to do my laundry.
Yeah, I think I should. It was a bit of foreshadowing, wasn't it? Because I was doing your laundry straight away. I was there for 5 weeks waiting for my ship, and Luke kept messaging me. He rang me. My mum then bollocked me because of the bill that racked up because he's ringing me from the middle of the ocean. And I was like, oh no. She's like, who's this calling you on your phone bill? I was like, oh, because I was 18 at the time. I went on a different ship to you. We thought we never would see each other again.
No, we thought that was it. And to be honest, we was very honest with each other because it was never a couple. We just
had a little kiss.
Had a little kiss and that was that really. And then we just had a bit of banter, didn't we, over Facebook?
Yeah. A little bit of banter.
Obviously, we didn't have UK SIM, so it's not like nowadays you have WhatsApp and that. It wasn't like that, was it?
No, it wasn't like that at all. In Europe for the start of mine, and Luke was in the Caribbean, so he was on different time zones. And also, anyone that's been on a cruise ship, the Wi-Fi, nowadays I think they're a bit better, but Wi-Fi was so shit and it was so expensive.
Yes, so
Even
expensive.
for crew, we had to pay so much, so we couldn't afford. Because, you go then, you want to save as much money as possible. Mm-hmm. It would just be as you got off on a dock or be able to sign into like a cafe Wi-Fi or something. So it was very bitty, wasn't it, our conversations. Obviously, we lived our own lives on the ships, which actually is quite funny because when we talk about our own lives on the ships, we actually had quite a few similarities, didn't we? I come off my ship first because I was medically disembarked because of my arms. Then Luke come off, and while we was on the ships we did mention about going travelling together, didn't we?
Yeah.
But Luke fobbed me off, and before he'd even come home he'd already booked to go travelling with somebody else. So
well, I was very honest about this whole situation, to be fair, because I came off the ship in March and I said, look, this isn't really going to go anywhere because I am booked to go to Australia for a year, potentially never to come back again.
I think that was your plan, to never come back, to be honest.
Yeah, it was, yeah. That was my plan, was to go to Australia and just sort of see what happens, because obviously I've just done a year in the Caribbean and I thought I wasn't ready to come home yet and be like an adult. I'm just going to go and see what's what. I got my 6-star personal training qualifications from the ship, so I can really go and get a job in any gym in the world really with that qualification.
Yeah, because it is very, I mean, I don't know now, but it was definitely then. Back then it was so renowned, wasn't it? And I even didn't get a job. I went for a job in a spa as a receptionist because I couldn't physically do the massage anymore. They said I was too qualified for the role because I'd worked for Steiner, so I didn't even get the job because it was so prestige, if you like. Yeah. I'm thinking, oh, all right, cheers, mate.
Yeah.
Like, I thought we was going to Australia.
But to be fair, I did say, come down if you want.
Because I was in Kent.
Come down to Southampton. we'll have a catch up because we've been like chatting back and forth for, what was it, about 9 months?
Yeah, it must have been 9 months.
Let's just have a laugh. Not going to go anywhere, but we'll just have a nice weekend and see what happens.
I was a bit hesitant, I think, because I was like, like I knew, I'm not gonna lie, I can say it now because obviously he's my husband and we have children together, but when I met Luke, obviously I'd only knew him for a few days, but there was just something, I'd never felt that connection with anybody before, and I was secretly gutted and I was scared to go up there because I was worried I was gonna really fall for him, and I knew I couldn't have him because he wasn't gonna be about. My mum went, you've been talking to this guy, you have a connection, just go up there, what have you got to lose? I drove up there because I thought at least I got a quick getaway because in case it's awkward I could just go home, get me out of there. I turned up. Yes, thing. Do you remember I was messaging you like I'm nearly there? He was like, oh, I'm not going to be finishing work until this time. So I stopped at one of the service stations. I was like, I need to buy time, like, because obviously it's 2.5, 3 hour drive. Because he's like, I'm not going to finish work until this time. I pulled up to his house and I was like, this crazy van driver was coming out of nowhere and ragging it, music blaring. Oh, I let him come through because I didn't know where I was. I knew I was near the house. I let him come through and it's fucking him. He's like, where? I was like, oh my. I thought at that point, I was like, what am I doing? Turns out he had finished work ages ago. Do you know what he was doing? Quite fitting, and he wasn't at the pub, he's at the gym. Yeah. He's getting pumped up.
Muscles pumped up.
I remember thinking like, oh, this is awkward. It wasn't, because literally you was like, oh, I need to jump straight in the shower. Like, he didn't even, I don't know, maybe you was conscious because you smell, I don't know. But you just was like, I need to have a shower. Like, I literally just walked in the door and he didn't really say much. And then I can't remember what the conversation was. And then I don't know if I should say this word or remember what I said to you.
Go on, say it.
So, I can't remember exactly, but I said, all right, you cunt. Or something like that. And then I think that's what sealed the deal. I think that was the moment Luke fell in love with me, if I'm honest.
We went out for dinner, didn't we?
You went out for dinner with his mate. It was a double date. He didn't even take me out on my own.
I did say to my mate, I said, look, this girl's coming down. I've only met her for a few days back in Watford, and I've obviously travelled like a lot of the world, and I've come home and we've just kept in contact. So did you want to go out for, it was a Friday night, wasn't it?
Friday night,
I said, do you want to come out for dinner with me and her, just in case we don't really get on? At least it won't be awkward. But I remember he then took me to the bar. We then got a drink, and he was like, mate, she's quality. She is. You want to stay here, don't you? What are you going to Australia for?
Because I'm sat there swearing, doing shots, like, I'm just
being one of the lads, aren't you?
Yeah, literally, I'm just like there drinking like a sailor and swearing like one too. We had a really good time. I then left and I thought, well, I'm never going to see him again, but it was nice. I did feel a little bit sad because I thought, oh, we really connected. I was about to get on the M25 or something, I can't remember. I was in traffic and I just looked and I was like, he thinks I'm lying, but I swear, like on oath.
What do you think?
I'd left all my jewellery. So back then I used to wear all these Pandora rings, Pandora bracelets, Michael Kors watch. I used to love a Michael Kors watch. And I left it all there. And I was like, no, right, hang on a minute. Oh, shit. And this geezer's about to piss off. Like, what am I meant to do? So I messaged him when I got home. I was like, look, by the way, I've left all my jewellery. Can you chuck it in a jiffy bag and just send it to me? In my defence, I had no ulterior motive. I literally just forgot.
What do you think?
You are hoping, like you want this so
be
bad.
On it, like, yeah, she's done that.
You want this so
100%.
bad for it to be true.
100%.
But a serious, like, oath, I didn't. I think it was meant to be. Like, our story has so many moments of meant to be. And, like, this is what leads up to why we're doing what we're doing. But
yeah, sure.
He said, oh, well, he could come down again next weekend.
Yeah, my cousin Ryan's got a fight.
Yeah, my cousin's got a fight. So you could come down
a
again
boxing
next
match.
week.
No, he's just not beating people
Yeah,
up.
not just a random fight on the street. I did actually say, no, just fine, just send it. And he was like, no, just come down. I thought, okay. So next weekend I went back up to Southampton. We had an amazing weekend. We went away in a caravan with your cousins, which was really random,
it was good
impromptu,
fun though,
but it was like the best weekend. It was so fun. And we had such a laugh. I'd met your parents. I remember just waving you. Your mum and John were out the drive as well, just waving them as I'm reversing. And I was like, bye. And I thought, this is so random. I'm never going to see you again. Little did I know, he then goes to Australia. And what was you doing every day in Australia?
Yeah, I messaged you.
It wasn't just a message.
Oh, FaceTiming.
He's FaceTiming.
Yeah, we was on the face, aren't we?
Every day. Some days he was drunk.
Yeah.
Some days he wasn't.
Most of the time I was drunk.
Most
to be
of the
fair.
time.
Flew into Sydney, and interestingly, we actually stayed at the girl's house who was my fitness partner when I was on the cruise ship, Melissa, who's a massive part of the journey, because even on the cruise ship I was talking about you, and then she actually came to our wedding.
Yeah, she flew and come to our
She
wedding
flew
as
from
well.
Australia to
She's
come to
from
our wedding,
Australia.
because like we were like best mates on the ship. Like we'd share a lot of chats, so she'd be telling about boys, and I'd be talking to her about like either
It
girls.
was like a really lovely like brother sister.
Yeah,
like
it was quality.
c-
There was no ulterior motive because we were just really, really good friends, and I think that's what made it even more special because we just really got on.
This must have been the May because you found my sister because you didn't know my family. You messaged my sister on Facebook. You asked for my address. Sent me flowers and a teddy bear. Teddy bear I still have. In the card, it just said "Happy birthday, bro."
It wasn't a thing though, was we?
Well, no, it was weird because there was nothing official, was it?
And I think that's what makes it more special because it was just see what goes.
Well, we both
There was no
were just
pressure.
there was no pressure.
Both lived in different parts of the country in England anyway. Now, obviously, I was in Australia. Obviously, at the time as well with Ali, we were both just like lunatics. Really, we were just partying all the time,
Yeah.
getting drunk all the time. Obviously, I was still exercising and training, but
You just living
I
your
was
life
just-
as an early 20-year-old.
yeah, I was just out drinking all the time. Just no responsibilities.
I would booked annual leave in October because that was the only time I could get annual leave at this new job to come out. So I was planning to fly out to Australia. We were just like best mates, really.
Which is why it worked. I wasn't looking for a girlfriend at all.
On one night, he's on FaceTime and he was like, I don't know how to say this. I was like, what? He's a bit pissed. I don't even know if you 100% remember this. And he said, well, I'm not really going to see anybody else now. I'm not going to see anyone else. No pressure. And I was like, well, I'm not seeing anyone else and I won't see anyone else. So we made a boundary of,
Yeah.
don't know what this is, but also we're not including anyone else in this either. And then literally, I think, a few days or a couple weeks later.
Yeah, basically what I did was I had $1,000 left in my account. We was up in Cairns, which is like the party place of Australia at this point. And the plan was going to buy a minivan with Ali and we was going to drive down the East Coast, traditional backpacking route. I took Ali out for breakfast one morning and went, I'm flying back home because it's $1,000. It's either flight home or minivan. So I made the decision that I was going to come home. Messaged Amy and said, what are you doing tomorrow? Was it tomorrow? What are
No,
you
you
doing?
said, what are you doing Sunday? And I was in Spain with work. I'm thinking, what's he talking about? The most surreal moment of my life, I think, because it wasn't something crazy. Like the amount you had in your account was basically the amount of the flight. So if you paid for that
Literally.
flight, he had no money,
That was
like
it.
at all, nothing. And he messaged me, he said, this is what I have in my bank account and this is what a flight costs home. I said, what are you doing?
It was a horrible flight as well.
Yeah.
It was like 36 hours to get back.
Do you remember what you said to me?
No.
Brilliant. In my head, I'm thinking, oh my God, I can't be the reason why someone is going to drop this year-long trip they've had. You can't come home because of me. I was like, mate, you need to really be sure on this. In my heart, I was like, yay! But my mind was like, no, you have to be sure. And you said to me, if I don't come home,
Well, I always regret it.
you said, if I don't come home and see where this goes, I'll kick
Yeah,
myself
yeah.
for the rest of my life.
Yeah, which is true. I would have always. Can you imagine if we never got together? I probably would have
Literally.
always thought about it because we both had boyfriends and seen people.
You
in
had
the past.
boyfriends?
I don't have boyfriends. I have girlfriends. We both had partners, and there's no one I got on with, to be honest. Not like this.
And then he was like, I've booked it, sent me a screenshot. And then I drove at like 2 a.m. to Heathrow, picked him up. It was like from Love Actually, come running out. And he scooped me up and I held him, his hat come flying off. And it was like the most magical moment. This is meant to be, like we're supposed to be together. And then I drove him back to Southampton. Your family didn't know you was coming home. Knocked on his mum's door. His mum's nearly faints in the kitchen because he's like, "Good day." And there's me like, "Hello." I feel so awkward because I don't actually know any of you. But hello, I've brought your son back for you.
Yeah.
And then we went out for Toby Carvery. And your mum, we was talking about this actually in the car the other day. I was getting up to get a drink. She come with me and I was like, oh, I'm nervous. What's the mum going to say? You are a little prince, aren't you?
Her little sausage print.
She said, you're not like the others. I was thinking, others? What do you mean others? What? I call them all daisies, but you ain't a daisy. And that was all she said to me.
You're in.
I'm in. It was just a whirlwind. We'd take it in turns. You come down to Kent, I go up to Southampton every other weekend. We did that for a few months, and then we decided we can't be apart anymore. For the October, in the 2 weeks when I'd booked off, when I was meant to be going to Australia, I come up to Southampton, spent 2 weeks trying to get a job, having interviews, got a job, we found a house to rent. And there we go. In our time together, we've had a lot of crazy things happen. We've had lots of great times and we've had some really tough times. Never against each other, but tough shit thrown at us. But we've always said there's a reason why we're meant to be together, because we both had different start dates, but we both... Obviously, Luke failed his first interview, which pushed him back. I brought mine forward. So you think those 4 days lined up where we met. That's it. And all these reasons as why we shouldn't be together, but we are. So we've always fought hard to make sure we're always unified. That's why we strongly believe there's a reason. We always said one of our kids will save the world or something.
There's something.
There's a reason why we're brought together, and there's a reason why the universe has brought us together, and we've had to fight so hard to build what we have now. Because never been a question whether we want to be together, has it?
No, it's just been a lot of outside things, isn't there?
Yeah, and this is why it's important to fuck the outside noise, because we, for 10 years, both people pleasers, because we both have trauma, we both come from difficult situations, and we both were chronic people pleasers to everyone else, but actually it was damaging us as people and coming in between our relationship. That's something we're very passionate about. Luke with his PT and how many people he's helped, and that's where we're now coming together.
It's going to help a lot of people. Without blowing my own trumpet, the knowledge that I've got when it comes to fitness and when it comes to health in particular and nutrition, I've not really seen that sort of level of detail of care, I suppose, and giving a shit about people, which is ultimately what it all comes down to. Some of the people I'm training, I've literally taught them to walk again. One guy in particular couldn't climb the stairs. Probably shouldn't have even been here, to be honest.
Yeah, there's clients that you have that technically shouldn't even be here now. And you have actually saved, I mean, we'll go into this more in other episodes, but you have actually saved somebody's life because of what you know and your knowledge. Luke's got that side of things, and he's very, any of his clients will preach, and anyone that meets you will preach for this. You've just got something about you, you have the ability to really help people and lift them up when they don't feel it, to really help boost their confidence. I think that's something you don't even realise you have. You're just so amazing at picking people up.
Appreciate that.
So I'm very proud of you. It's been amazing to watch. I love helping women, because we predominantly help women, helping women get their confidence, trust their voice again, heal themselves. I've been through my own trauma. I was in a very dark place over a decade's worth. I want to help other women come out the other end how I have, because this is something I said to Luke, and I think it actually goes for both of us now, because through our relationship I've then learned about you and the traumas you have also had and the things we've been through separately and together. I think we can both hand on heart say now, that's the reason why we're together. That's the bigger picture. That's the mission, is because we can't have gone through what we've gone through individually and as a couple and come out the other side and change our lives the way we have changed them. How can we go through all of that and all that shit be put on us, and we have the resilience to come out of it, to not share that with other people, to help them? That's our core value. That's what it comes down to. It's more to us than just a business. It comes down to the people, isn't it? And that's when he comes home or comes out the garage from PT and people, I feel like I know all his clients, and I'm like, what? I get so I love that for them. He's like, oh, so-and-so done this today, or so-and-so's, they've got the confidence, they're going out on their first date, or they're going outside for the first time on their own, and I'm like, oh my God, I just want to cry every time. You can't replicate that feeling.
I've been a personal trainer for so many years, and the stories that I've got when it comes to the transformation, but the biggest part, if I'm honest with you, is in your mind. A lot of people think it's, I just want to get a bit fitter and lose a little bit of weight, but they don't realise how amazing they feel on the inside. If you're not really happy, it doesn't really make a difference if you've lost a bit of body fat or not, because you're still going to be unhappy. You're just going to be a skinnier version of yourself, just unhappy. But what I really try to focus on doing is to just really get them to lift themselves up and change the way that they look at themselves and their social image that they've got of themselves. And that's really where the big transformation happens, is in their mindset rather than anything else. Amy, you've got an amazing skill of picking these girls up. you know, when you done that activated, that was incredible to see how like special that day was, because there was people in tears, there's people that left and said that one day changed their mindset and the way that they thought about things. So I think, imagine if someone would have access to me and you and all the resources which we're currently building as well. It's going to be game changing. I've never seen anything like this in my whole life.
No, me neither. That's why I truly believe like it was meant to happen like this. We always thought we'd have a unit where you're doing PT and then I'm doing massage. We thought that would be our business, but obviously then I went down the aesthetics route, so kind of didn't really know. But we have, I don't know, maybe we manifested it, but we've always just known there's a bigger picture, a bigger mission, and that's the thing that gives us the most excitement. Like when we talk about it, is like how many people we can actually help.
Molds together, doesn't it? The fitness, the health, the mindset stuff that I'm preaching, and like your level of mindset is whops mine though. You're like another tier above, really, but your sort of level, because I do this stuff that may not necessarily know why I'm doing it. Like I'll really big people up and try and get people to really believe in themselves and back themselves. But I won't know how I've got there. It just happens.
Yeah.
Whereas you know how you get them to be there, and you know the steps to be like, okay, this is what you need to do at this stage, and this is kind of why this is what's dragging you back from getting to this next level. It's this past trauma, or you know, it's these simple steps.
I've done this in our relationship forever because Luke's always been very like reserved, haven't you? I hope you don't mind me saying that. You've been like shut off for good reason.
Yeah.
I'm someone, I'll sit and have a deep chat. I love a deep chat. You have been very shut off for a long time, and you didn't know how to voice your feelings, really, did you?
No.
And that's something we've grown together as. I always thought like everyone did this, but I'm learning now, like, I don't like to say it's a skill, but it is. I seem to know through, if you're talking to me, I will pick things out, and I have a good way of like, what do they call it? A catalyst. Like I just know, I can identify the trauma, I can identify your limiting beliefs just from one conversation. I will pick up on things. I'm like, that's why you do this. This is how we do. Yeah. And my intuition is you've always been a bit like, oh, it's woo woo, but come on, what do you reckon about my intuition?
It's mad, isn't it?
Never wrong, is it?
It's crazy.
Never wrong. Us combined, what we're building, so Activate as a whole, it is an online coaching for fitness, but it's so much more than that. It's online coaching to transform your whole fucking life.
Yeah, that's literally what it's about.
It's through your health, through your mindset, through how you see yourself, through how your perceptions from others, through healing yourself. Like you might even be like, oh, I'm not someone who suffered from trauma. But there might be something that happened when you was at school and one person said something to you at school, whether that was 5 years ago or 25 years ago or 40 years ago. And that one thing could just change how you perceive, how your perception of life, how people treat you, because how you teach people to treat you. And that's where I come into it. Obviously you have mindset too, but yours is more physical, and your knowledge, oh my goodness, your knowledge on the body. I've never known somebody, I mean, you did a call in my group where majority of them are nurses in the NHS, and not to shit on anyone, but they were like, whoa, I didn't know any of this.
When I worked on a cruise ship, they used to call me Dr. Luke.
Calling Dr. Jones. Da, 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 da.
And it's because the level of detail I go into the seminars. I'm not someone who was very academic at school.
Same.
But I like to explain things in a way that everyone can understand them. So the way I explain like fat loss, for example, we want to stop your body from using the food in your digestive system as the main source of fuel, and we want to use fat as the main source of fuel. So if you put too much energy in your digestive system, your body's going to go, well, use that. And if there isn't enough energy in the digestive system, it goes, what do I use? Well, I use fat. And it's just breaking it down into really simple terms. Like I was speaking to a client the other day. She speaks quite negatively about herself. I said, what you want to do is, what would a healthy person do in this situation?
Yeah.
You know, what would a healthy person do? You want to be healthy for your kids. What would a healthy person do? And she's like, I never really thought of it like that. You can either make a decision that's going to move you closer towards the person you want to become, or further away. And making more of the decisions that will make you go towards the person you want to become is going to make you a lot closer to that person.
Yeah.
And it's just changing your identity, isn't it? Continuously changing your identity. But like you said, could be school, could be parents. A lot of time it is parents. You're not good at that, or you're not good at this. And that really shapes you.
Or even just something as simple as, oh, you don't want to do that. You don't want to do that because that's their belief. Our beliefs are derived by evaluation, right? And our evaluation is through our upbringing in terms of our outside factors. So that's our parents, our teachers, our peers, our colleagues. Everything is derived by evaluation. If you're surrounded by other people's, like, whether it's their habits, their paradigm, however you want to look at it, if you're surrounded by other people and and most of us don't trust ourselves, we don't trust our instinct, we don't trust our own voice. So then what happens is you take on all these other people's narratives, other people's opinions, and you carry that through your whole life. Actually, it's as simple as you reevaluate every day because your beliefs are evaluation of what's going on around you. And just because of your belief 5 years ago doesn't mean it's your belief now, and it's okay to change that. It's honestly simple little things, but the world's noisy, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, and there's a lot on, particularly social media.
Social media, yeah, 100%.
Like I said, I've been a personal trainer for a lot of years, and I've been around the gym since I was about 15. It's all clickbait, a lot of it, on Instagram and social media, though, because they want you to view their stuff. But the fitness industry in a whole is ran really, you can see the people who've got the most amount of followers maybe got the most amount of clients, and they don't even really know a lot of this information themselves. They're preaching this stuff, but you can really mess people up when it comes to fitness and
100%.
health and nutrition. If you are working with a coach, that you're working with one that, has got your best interest in heart, because ultimately you want someone that cares about you. You're not just another number. You really want someone that gives a shit about you, to be honest.
Yeah, and I think that's something both of us have done individually and will be doing as a team, is something we pride ourselves on, isn't it? Given so much to people because we really want that for them. Give them the tools, give them what they need, but ultimately you have to be met halfway. But,
yeah, of course, because it's their journey, isn't it? It's everyone's individual journey. You're just sort of guiding them along the right path, aren't you? And it's sort of helping them with a strategy around, obviously, like, for example, weight loss. You're helping them with, like, the food. You're helping them with the nutrition. You're helping them with the calories. And, you're kind of just keeping them accountable. And that's the biggest part is, someone that's watching you.
I think the biggest part is that, alongside with somebody, and this is where the difference between a coach that cares and one that doesn't, is somebody who's holding you accountable that actually has your best interest at heart. Because like you said earlier, if you do not have someone's best interest at heart and you're just pushing them from black and white logic, what's on paper, or what worked for you or what works for some of your clients or whatever, and you're not taking into consideration their whole world, that's where you can fuck people up. Massively. We've seen it firsthand of people, like, I've seen it in my line of work, you've seen it in yours, where people are coming to us so damaged, not saying just from coaches, but from other experiences, and they're so damaged and so, what's the word I'm looking for, so torn down and hit so many times, they're taking so many hits.
Yeah, massively. Well,
so just having someone in your corner that actually believes in you and will switch your mindset and hold you accountable with it.
And won't just tell you to do more, because that's what I normally hear, isn't it?
Yeah, you're not disciplined enough, or you just need to do more, or you're obviously not doing what I'm telling you. But it's to go so much deeper than that. So I think that's where we feel we are different.
That's what we're going to do.
We're going to change everyone's life.
We're going to do it.
If you've made it this far, I congratulate you.
Well
thank you so much. Appreciate you. Well, each week, just dive into different topics, dive into things, just combine our knowledge together. Have a bit of banter along the way.
100% have a bit of banter, but like episodes on nutrition, on training, on mindset.
Also how they combine together, talk about things that may be a bit taboo. Because you might just take one thing from listening to half an hour episode, you might take one thing that then will change something for you and help you build. And if that's what we can bring, then we're winners, aren't we? We're absolutely doing exactly what we want to do.
Absolutely.
So there we go. So thank you so much for listening.
Thank you very much.
See you next week.
See you next week. You got the thumb up like me. Who are you? Well done. First episode filmed.
Well, there you go then.